The lights of the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles blazed like 1,000 suns, but inside the wings, 5 people stood in a trembling circle, holding hands so tightly their knuckles turned white. None of them had slept. None of them had eaten. They had come from 5 different corners of the world with 5 different tragedies in their pockets, and tonight, on the judges of America's Got Talent, were about to meet the act simply called The Five. The host's voice boomed, "Prepare to be amazed by 5 magicians who will leave you questioning everything you believe." The 5. The curtain flew up. A single spotlight found Anna, 29, from Chicago, standing alone on the vast stage. Her black dress was simple, almost mourning. She looked small. The audience of 3,000 fell silent. She spoke softly into the microphone, her voice cracking on the very first word. 6 months ago, my little brother Leo took his own life. He was 16. He left a note that said, "I just wanted someone to see me." Tonight, I brought 4 strangers with me to prove that he was wrong. People do see. People do care. And sometimes, the ones who feel most invisible are the ones carrying the brightest light. A tear slid down her cheek, but she didn't wipe it away. She let it fall. She raised her hand. 4 more spotlights snapped on. To her left stood June from Seoul, sleeves rolled up, showing burn scars that climbed his arms like ivy. To her right, Amara from Lagos, hijab pinned with a tiny golden bird. Behind her, Diego from Mexico City, eyes red as if he'd been crying for days. And farthest stage left, little Maya, only 12, from Mumbai, clutching a worn teddy bear missing one eye. 5 broken people. 1 impossible promise. Howie spoke first, gentle. "Anna, what are you about to show us?" Anna smiled through the tears. "We're going to disappear, and come back as proof that no one is ever really gone." The music began, soft, haunting piano. The judges leaned forward. June stepped forward first. He lifted a glass box the size of a coffin. Empty. He locked it, showed every angle. Then he climbed inside and closed the lid. Anna draped a black silk cloth over the box. 1, 2, 3. She whipped the cloth away. The box was empty. A collective gasp swept the theater. Simon's mouth actually fell open. But then, something strange. A single white rose lay where June had been. Amara walked forward next. She held up an old, cracked mirror. She turned it to the audience, nothing special. Then she placed it flat on the stage and stepped onto it like it was ice. The mirror rippled. Amara sank straight through it as if it were water, disappearing completely. Another rose appeared, this one red as blood. Diego was next. He carried a length of thick nautical rope. He tied a perfect hangman's noose, showed it to the judges, then slipped it over his own neck. The audience screamed. Security half rose from their seats. Anna whispered, "Trust us." Diego kicked the chair away. He dropped. The rope snapped taut. Then, in the space of a heartbeat, he was gone. The noose swung empty. A third rose, pure white, floated gently to the stage floor. Heidi covered her face. Sofía was openly crying. Now only Anna and little Maya remained. Maya walked to center stage holding her one-eyed teddy bear. She looked terrified, but her voice was steady. "My mommy and daddy died in a train crash last year. I was supposed to be with them, but I missed the train because I was looking for this stupid bear." She hugged it tight. "Everyone keeps telling me I'm lucky. But I don't feel lucky. I feel alone." She placed the bear on a small table. Anna knelt beside her. "Are you ready, baby?" Maya nodded. Anna covered the bear with a red handkerchief. When she pulled it away, the bear was gone. In its place sat a fourth rose, soft pink, still wet with dew. 4 roses. 4 missing magicians. Only Anna stood in the spotlight now. She looked straight into the main camera, straight into millions of homes. Leo thought no one would notice if he disappeared. He was wrong. "Tonight, we're going to bring them all back, but we need your help." She turned to the judges' table. "Howie, you lost your father too young. Simon, you've spoken about depression. Heidi, you fight for children every day. Sofía, you know what it is to lose a brother." She stepped toward the edge of the stage. "Every one of you has felt invisible at some point. Every person watching tonight has felt it. So right now, I need you to close your eyes and picture someone you love who's no longer here. Picture them clearly. Say their name in your heart." The theater went completely dark except for Anna's spotlight. "On 3, we're going to bring our friends back. But only if you believe they were seen, that they mattered, that they are still loved." Silence so deep you could hear hearts beating. 1. The first rose began to glow. 2. The second rose lifted off the stage by itself. 3. Every light in the theater exploded back on. And there they stood, June, Amara, Diego, Maya, all 5 of them, in a straight line, holding the roses. The audience erupted, screaming, crying, standing, clapping until their hands bled. But the trick wasn't over. Anna walked to each of them and took their roses. She laid the 5 flowers together on the small table where the teddy bear had vanished. She looked up, tears streaming. "Leo, if you're watching, this is for you." She snapped her fingers. The 5 roses burst into pure white light that shot upward, forming the shape of a boy, translucent, smiling, 16 years old, waving. For 3 full seconds, the entire theater saw him. Then the light became a shower of sparkles that rained gently over the stage. When the sparkles cleared, Maya's one-eyed teddy bear sat in the center, perfectly restored. Both eyes shining, a tiny golden heart stitched where the missing eye had been. The judges were on their feet. Howie had his face in his hands. Simon Cowell, was wiping tears with his sleeve. Heidi and Sofía held each other. Terry Crews ran onto the stage and just hugged Anna so hard her feet left the ground. Simon finally found his voice, hoarse. I don't even know what I just saw. But I felt it. I felt it in my soul. That was the most beautiful, heartbreaking, hopeful thing I've ever seen on this stage." He pressed the golden buzzer with shaking fingers. Gold rained down like heaven itself was applauding. But Anna shook her head gently. "We don't want the golden buzzer for us," she said into the microphone, voice trembling but strong. "We want it for every kid out there who feels invisible tonight. Every person who thinks tomorrow isn't worth waking up for." She looked straight into the camera one last time. "You are seen. You are loved. And if you ever feel like disappearing, reach out your hand. Because there are 5 magicians, and 3 million more, who will pull you back into the light. The five of them linked hands and bowed, tears falling freely. Backstage, after the show, a teenage boy in Ohio picked up his phone with shaking fingers and called the suicide hotline for the first time. In Chicago, Anna's mother clutched her chest and whispered, "Thank you, baby," to an empty room that suddenly didn't feel empty anymore. And somewhere, in whatever place comes after, a 16-year-old boy named Leo smiled the biggest smile he'd worn in years. Because five strangers had turned their pain into the greatest magic trick of all. They had proven that love doesn't die. It just learns how to disappear. And come back even stronger. The end.